Good evening and happy Black History Month, Black Lives Matter at School Week of Action. Welcome to the Unapologetically Black Educator Story Lounge. I'm Keisha Saran. I serve as the Deputy Director of Teaching for Change, and we are one of the two co-hosting organizations that are putting this event on for you tonight.
I am Dominique Moore. I serve as the community organizer for Empower Ed. So welcome, everybody. It's good to see you all.
We just want to know how many of y'all, we've been doing this for 4 years. So if this is your first time, Christina, hey. What up, girl?
Shout out to Black History in the building.
If this is your first time, just give us a little wave. Congratulations. Welcome to the family circle, our living room here. How many of you, this is your second time that you've been with us? Okay. How many of you, it's been your third time? I was like, Alphonse, you got to raise your hand because I know you've been up here before. Awesome. Well, we are excited that we get to host this event. Again, this event is hosted during Black Lives Matter at School Week of Action. This is where we, as the DC metro area, join national schools across the country to uplift the guiding principles of Black Lives Matter at school. You can see a beautiful banner in the back that you can take selfies with that hosts our guiding principles that are there. But Unapologetically Black is one of the principles, and we just want to share a little bit about what that means. So Unapologetically Black as a guiding principle affirms that Black lives matter without qualification, requiring no apology for one's identity, culture, or desire for liberation. It emphasizes loving oneself and actively pursuing justice, which serves as a necessary foundation for demanding freedom for all. And so tonight we are here to uplift what it means to be an unapologetically Black educator here in the DMV. And we are so excited to hear your stories and affirm the community that we have created this evening.
Yes, I think I agree with Keisha most wholeheartedly that these two organizations align in many different ways and have worked to curate a space and an event for you all over the years that really allows us to stand in our truth unapologetically. So as we stand here tonight and we share our stories and we laugh and we kiki and we sip our drinks, I would like for you all to remember and pat yourselves on the back that you all definitely stand in the gap for our children, okay? So go ahead and pat yourselves on the back right now. You all are the trailblazers and the mothers and the fathers and the therapists and the nurse and the gossiper and everything for these children from 8 to 3:30. And if you are anything like me, they got your phone number and your Cash App. So you do a lot for these children. So tonight I want you to listen to these stories, be empathetic to these stories, allow these stories to put some gas in your back so that we can continue to do the work that we set out to do every day. I think we all know that it is extremely important that our children see representation of Black excellence day in and day out, and that we tell them that they can do anything when society and statistics say that they can't. And I think that it is important in this climate that we continue to push forth when they are trying to devalue our degrees, devalue our professions, devalue our dignity, and any and everything else that comes in between. So I want you to stand up and say, I'm Black and I'm proud, and I am unapologetically a Black educator. So we worked really hard to curate this space. We went back and forth over the menu. As y'all know, Black folk always love to talk about what was on the menu. If we ain't talking about who did the body, God bless everybody who's lost the condolences lately, but we are talking about what is on the menu. So we hope that you enjoy your time. We hope that you connect with people in the room. Please share your name, your profession, your school, your love. Everybody in here has a side hustle. There are authors in the building. There is the teacher of the year in the building. There are founders and CEOs in the building. You are not just teachers, okay? You are way makers and trailblazers. So thank you for coming, and we hope that you enjoy.
So, awesome.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was like, you taking me to church, clapping it up. We also just want to give it up for the space that we are in. So just a shout out to this beautiful Caribbean delight that we get to spend our time with tonight at Zapadillos. We want to just shout out Sam and the staff that are here. Please love on the team, the staff, Sam in particular. She's making some bomb drinks. Tara, the manager that's here tonight, just awesome, and want to just say thank you again. So you all got your drink ticket. That's one drink ticket that you will have, and so any others are on you. Make sure to tip your bartender. Let's make sure to show them some love as well. And again, the food, delicious. I'm so glad that we chose this menu. At your tables, you have buttons, swag. If you do not have the original 1619 magazine, so not the book, the magazine, that is at your tables. Take one, take two, take many. We got more. You have your Teach Band books or band history buttons, and there are also newspaper clippings or newspapers written by young people. These are indie kids newspapers, so we also have stacks of those as well, so feel free to take those. And don't forget your Empower Ed stickers as well. So swag on swag on swag for everyone that is present. And then you can see these lovely books over here that Dominique's going to Vanna White for me. These are for our storytellers. So as a storyteller, you get to select a book that you will take for your classroom or home library. No one's going to hold you to it. You also get a lovely issue of Rethinking Schools. And then we have these posters. The Last Scene Project has 2 posters that you will also be able to take home with you. So if that doesn't encourage you, for those who hadn't signed up before you got here, you now have an opportunity to get your own additional swag for your classroom or home. And with that, we are going to note that every educator will have between 5 to 7 minutes to tell your stories. We may, depending on how this goes, make it a little shorter, but we're gonna try to do our best to keep it up where we are. And then Dominique's gonna introduce our first speaker.
All right, if you are in the building, can I get a yay, yay? All right, all right, all right. I have the honor of introducing our first storyteller. So our first storyteller is Mr. Alphonse Prince, who is one of our Empower Ed Fellows. Shameless plug, the fellowship will be opening up somewhere around March, April, May. If you are interested, please apply. I will do another shameless plug of all the beautiful things that we do later. But for now, what is it about Alphonse? All right. So Mr. Alphonse Prince is a middle school math teacher in Washington, D.C. He has taught in North Carolina as well as Chicago, Illinois. He has taught high school as well as adults, and he believes that enriching the learning of all members of a given family will help close the achievement gap. He believes that math is a great unifier, as math is used everywhere in all of our lives. This belief is what drives his passion and helped fuel him to create an algebra program for Center City Public Charter Schools, which allows 8th graders the opportunity to take algebra before high school. So without further ado, our first unapologetically black storyteller, Mr. Alphonse Prince.
Woo, 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 woo.
Woo, woo. Please feel free to snap or clap accordingly.
Thank you for that introduction. As I said before, this is my 3rd year doing this, and every year I kind of have a different vibe based on the school year. So 2 years ago was more about advocacy for the students in places they are not in, and that was tied to getting the algebra program started. Last year was more about doing the work and finding people to do the work as I was implementing the algebra program. And so in this year, in preparing to speak tonight, I thought about a lot of different things. So I thought about advocacy for teachers and students. I thought about leadership. And as I said, I definitely thought about talking about the algebra program that I designed, planned, and continually implement. But in the end, I'm deciding to talk about joy. Joy is something that some people need these days. However, black educators especially need it as we face challenges on all sides. Everyone in the school building is bringing more stress than usual, and one way I believe to combat that is through joy. Joy in learning, joy from teaching, and joy in experiences with colleagues and other school stakeholders. All of these things can be achieved through teaching your content area, which in my case is math, but to me, joy keeps burnout at bay. I know it has for me. I've been in my current school district, Center City Public Charter Schools, for 9 years, and it is by far the longest paying job I've ever had, and I've been working since I was 14. As I reflected on why burnout hasn't gotten me yet, I'm able to remember many joyous moments during my time there. In each of the areas I listed above, whether teaching, whether students learning, I've been able to find joy, and that's what keeps me going. I found joy in everything from mistakes that students make to celebrations when they get something to frustrations as to why they're not getting it. So when I think about what it means to be a black educator in 2026, I think it means to be someone who finds joy everywhere and is able to give that to all school and is able to give all school stakeholders the opportunity to do the same. I believe that everyone in a school building should be learning, and the learning just occurs easier when it is a joyous environment. Joyous doesn't mean wild. Joyous doesn't mean easy either. So, to all the educators and everyone else with touch points in education, remember to keep finding joy and providing opportunities for students to do the same. Thank you for your time and attention.
Alphonse is going to model that you get to select your book, your Rethinking Schools magazine, and a poster. Finding joy everywhere. Who needs a little bit of joy in these moments that we are witnessing today, right? I think we can't have enough of it, and when we know that our community comes together, we know that joy is in the room always, period. So excited. Thank you, Alphonse, for reminding us that joy is always present. I am excited to bring up our next speaker. I hope I'm saying this correctly, so correct us if I do not, but Mari Duggard. So Mari is going to share their story shortly, and then we'll ask one follow-up question when Mari comes up, so I just want to also note that. So let me introduce Mari. Ms. Mari L. Duggard, known to most as Ms. D, is a kindergarten math platinum teacher at Achievement Prep PCS in Southeast DC. But, my math teachers, Alphonse, Ms. D, let's go. We need more of us. Thank you. She is currently enjoying her 17th year as an educator in our dear city of Washington, D.C., and is a newly selected Empower Ed Black Educator Mentor. Ms. D comes from a family of educators. I'm on a side. I know I'm supposed to read this, but let me just say something, because I have been saying that educators are first responders and we don't treat y'all as such. And when we think about the ways that you have family lineage that is teaching, it's important that we put some respect on it. So you are from a family of educators and is proud to continue the tradition of sharing her love for knowledge, reading, and numbers to create aha moments for young children. She is an alum of St. Paul's College, Boston University, London, and Trinity, Washington University. Ms. D's teaching is life, liberty, and literacy for all, as she believes that access to knowledge is a key factor in future success. So let's give it up for Ms. D, who is coming to join us today.
Wow, that was very poignant. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. As she said, what? My bad. Where y'all at? Hey. Okay. Got you. Okay. The thing fell. Okay, so as she was saying, I'm a kindergarten teacher, so I needed to have a visual. I also am quite the introvert, and it was definitely some liquid courage that fueled this volunteering and signing up to do public speaking. It's not really my bag, but we're getting into it. So we're tasked with the story. Hey, you're not supposed to be here right now. Not yet. Okay. We're tasked with the moment to share our story as an educator. And my story is a little different. It's a little poignant. I'm actually a career changer, and I'm going to model a little bit more of it as we go through. But basically, the title of my story is Started from the Bottom. Okay. So, in honor of Katherine Johnson, I decided to use the coordinate systems formula used widely in geometry at NASA to calculate trajectories. It also doesn't hurt that this calculation at the top is the equivalent to the number of years I've been in education, which is the square root of a squared plus 15 squared plus infinity, the amount of time I will be in education, equals M for me, Mary. So we all know, we've seen Hidden Figures, I'm sure, especially our math friends, that Katherine Johnson was amazing, wonderful. She was also a member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Pardon, my voice is a little sketchy. Nevertheless, so here's her on her ladder, and I'm always impressed by her and very admirable because I too am a mathematician and always have been. And it took some discovery to get there. So here's my trajectory, or it's my journey through education. Down here, way under the ladder, while I was in, well, before I was a career changer, down here under the ladder is what one might refer to as my own personal hell. I lived in a cubicle farm. I was regulating biopesticide labels. Sounds so much fun, right? Yeah, just sitting there. No, it wasn't fun. So in 2008, I left. And I had the mission. I didn't want to follow the family tradition at first. I was a little evasive of my destiny, but we got there. So this is essentially a physical timeline that shows what it took, what I did, and where I am. And I literally started from the bottom, and now I'm here. So down here, oh, here's me. We love Velcro in kindergarten. So down here, we have 2008 to 2009. That was the year I started as a dedicated aide to a wonderful scholar named Markel. On my first day, we went to the hospital. Yeah. I was like, oh, we are in it. Okay, but we got through that. And then as I continued, that was at Center City. I saw my friend. Okay, I see you. That was at Center City. I did a lot of growing there. I matriculated from being a dedicated aide to an instructional assistant. That was 2009 to 11. Then 2011 to the 13. The next 2 years, I became a co-teacher with my pre-K teacher. And then by 2013 or 14, I was promoted to a lead teacher position. And then I moved on. I went to Eagle Academy, also in Southeast. 2014 to 16, I was a lead teacher. 16 to 17, lead teacher, and also team lead. I'll stay in the classroom. And then in one more year, 2007-18, as just the lead teacher and not the team lead. I'm good on that. Oh, we're supposed to be moving up this ladder, pardon. So there, we got there to Eagle. Now we're moving forward, we're advancing. Down here, I think I started at like $30,000. It was rough. I have a baby. Then I moved a little bit more, a little bit forward up. I was at Harmony DC PCS. Whoop, whoop. Mr. Montgomery, he was class dad for us in kindergarten. That was 2018 to 19 and 1920. I was the lead teacher, but I also had the highest math data in the school staff. Then also, I'm coining myself 2019 to 20. I was a lead teacher in K, but also a virtual genius because COVID happened. And we were talking to children and teaching on the internet. And that was interesting. After that, I transitioned to Achievement Prep. Woo! In Southeast, Waller Place, come see us. It's from 2020 to the present. I am a platinum teacher. Oh, one thing, my apologies. The brain it's been a long day. I was at work with 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds. Right around here at Harmony, I started really getting into the groove. I met some amazing people that really, really bolstered me up. But I started being into the place of like, oh man, if I could just teach math all day, I'd be set. Like that's my jam. Math is my, whoo, I love it. And I got it at Achievement Prep. I currently only teach math all day, and I love that for me. I am from 2020 to now. This is now my 6th year at the same school. I have been Teacher of the Week 8 times in 6 years, and I've been Teacher of the Month 4 times. I also organized a community peace treaty where we planted a tree in honor of a fallen parent in our community. And I'm just very honored to serve our community. I'm very honored to finally step into the space and the destiny that is mine as an educator. I teach solely and only to our babies. I tried it once with some others. That wasn't for me. And so essentially, I just wanted to share my path with you. We started from the bottom. We're down here. We're dedicated aid. We moved up instructional, co-teacher, lead teacher, platinum teacher. And I thank you for sharing in my story, and I appreciate you listening. Thank you so much.
So before you leave the stage, I want to make sure that doesn't ring. In your 17-year journey, what has sustained you in your practice?
Ooh, in 17 years, what has sustained me? It's not been a lot. It's been hard. It's been rough. There have been a lot of moments of despair and sitting down and being like, I don't know if I can keep going. But what definitely has sustained me, when I can really pinpoint it, has been the aha moments, as I was like typing in my bio. The young children, and I love to teach younger scholars because their faces light up when they get it. They're not jaded. They just love it. They love you. They're sweet. They're kind. Not always. I'm talking to you. You know who you are. But definitely just knowing that it's such an impact that we can make. And we can get them excited about learning. And we need to make sure that they understand that it doesn't matter where you start. It matters where you're going.
Give it up, give it up.
Thank you.
Don't forget to grab your book,
Goodies, too. I love this for me.
your Rethinking Schools magazine, and your poster.
Love it. Thank you.
All right, all right. How do y'all feel so far? Did y'all enjoy our first two storytellers? All right, now I am very big. Ooh, let me stay in my box. That's why the tape on the floor. I am traditionally a middle school teacher. Middle school is what I love. It is what I've always done. And I had a few notes up here. This is why it's important for you to read your script. As we all know, as teachers, reading is what? Okay, I'm not taking my own advice. So, Alphonse, I do have a follow-up question for you, friend, and I'm going to come into the crowd where you are, all right? So I have a wellness question. Oh, we can definitely go up there. See, this is why it's good to have good teammates. See, if y'all didn't know me for real, I call Alphonse when I'm getting a little overstimulated, and Alphonse calls me sometimes, and that's an okay thing. But one of the things, oh, Mary, I'm dropping you. I'm so sorry. One of the things that I was going to say as we talk about joy and wellness is if people were to ask me what Empower Ed is or what Empower Ed does, one of the two things I would say is we are the biggest teacher advocacy nonprofit in the city, and we also focus on educator wellness, not just teacher solutions. And I know that joy is something that we have been talking about. And I really appreciate your story and your vulnerability, and I hope I'm not putting you too much on Front Street right now, but I want you all to know that, as we all know, black male educators are skim to none, And we are doing something at Empower Ed within the Black Educator Mentor cohort, which is to try and love up on our black male educators to make sure that we can retain them, right? And I think that it is very important during Black History Month. One of the things that I said that I wanted to do, I'm gonna have to put my teacher voice on this, okay, is to not only honor our past Black history figures, but to also be aware and cognizant of the Black history that we are making every day. And I think that it speaks to where we are as a country and as a culture that we are still accomplishing our first. All of that to say, you spoke a lot on joy, right? And you are in a very transformative part of your career and maybe even fatherhood and manhood. And I just, if it's not too much for you to tell us, what are some of the things that you do to maintain your joy right now? Because you are battling a task and you are Black history and Black excellence in your own right. So if there was a little Black boy watching, or if you could say something to the younger Alphonse, what would you say to give that little Black boy some joy to get through?
I would say more than likely, not more than likely. I know what I would say. I would say be confident in who you are outwardly. So, like, and for Mari, who just said she doesn't have public speaking, I tell all teachers you do have public speaking because you publicly speak every single day. And for me, it helps that I think of students as little adults. So to answer the question of like what brings me joy, it's actually events like these. Like I'm an extrovert until I'm not. But for the most part, I'm an extrovert. So coming out and hearing stories and seeing other teachers, Black teachers who are out there trying to fight the fight that we have to fight every day, that's what sustains me and keeps me going. It's the reason why I got into it. I too am a career changer. I've done actually a lot of careers, but I take all of that into the classroom with me. So even tonight, like things that happen, stories that I hear, I impart to students to keep going. So to answer your question, things like this, hanging out, it's too cold really for me to say I'm outside, but when the weather breaks, I'm outside. But that is because I work so hard that I follow the motto work hard, play hard, and I'm working hard every day in school. So those 2 days off, I'm going to use them to the max because I don't want a Monday to come and be like, oh man, I ain't do nothing this weekend and I got to go back to work, and all of that adds to burnout. So what I would say to myself is to be outwardly confident in yourself, because all the way up until public speaking freshman 101, I was not this confident to do anything like this in terms of speaking in front of a crowd. But after that, it was just something that I walked into.
Thank you for telling your story and being unapologetically Black. All right, hopefully y'all I don't make the mic squeak anymore. But moving on to our next presenter, Miss Rosalind Lake. Welcome to the Lake Show, y'all. That's my friend. She's amazing. I can't wait for y'all to hear her story. Miss Rosalind Lake is an Afro-Dominican Spanish teacher from San Pedro de Macorís, Dominican Republic, in Harrisonburg, Virginia, currently living in D.C. She loves her students and wants to see them succeed using Spanish and English to make the world in our community a better and safer place for all. And I can say without a doubt, y'all, Senorita Lake loves her children. She advocates for these children on the front lines. We had our Teacher Voice Festival in October, and Senorita Lake brought so many of her kids there. I mean, they were willing to help and set up and break down. They were in their session working. I think that you can tell a good teacher by how the kids treat them. And I think there are several of us in this room that we got that fun room, right? The kids always gravitate to us. They always want to come to us. And I think that just speaks to how we connect with our teachers. So I cannot wait for you to hear her story. So without further ado, Senorita Lake.
Thank you.
No worries.
Um, this is okay. This is God. I'm a bit. I'm Christian, so God bless everybody. If you receive it, that's good. If you're Muslim, Allah bless you. I am speaking from my strongest self. I am in my realist stage of my life at this moment, and I'm very proud of myself for that. I want to first thank Empower It because they have seen me through every stage of my educator journey in DC. And I want to thank my school, Paul International Charter School, founded by a black woman, Cecile Middleton. She made Paul the unicorn of DC school because it was public, but then we became charter. And not to say too much, but as a black little girl, I never thought that I was even going to speak English. So, because I'm working on my book, Stupid Little Girl, I'm going to read to you just something very simple. I'm Dominican and we tend to talk a lot, so I'm going to read this. And if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you got to talk to me so I can give you the vocabulary. And this is how my journey begins in America. Capítulo 1, La cita to the American Consulado. Sequito was, Sequito came to our patio calling my mom's name. Lizzy, Lizzy, te llegó algo when we all saw this tigre. Tigre is like a sicario, like you know what a sicario is? You watch the cartels? Anybody watch cartels? So I'm from like one of the toughest neighborhoods in Dominican Republic, San Pedro de Macorís, Miramar. But my dad got street credit because he's a taekwondo professor. So I'm gonna open this here. Dominic, can you help me? I'm very nervous. Can you help me real quick? Okay. So, um, Sequito came to our patio calling my mom's name. Lizzy, Lizzy, te llegó algo. When all we saw was this tigre, cartel leader, well, coming to our patio. Everyone was mad quiet. Sequito was bad, but Papi said he respected our Tío Godoy. That's why he didn't try to bloquearnos los caminos, to block our path. Sequito was known in our barrio for doing bad stuff like drugs and killing people. You know, the basic things you add to your resume when you're a delinquent. So he was always super kind to us, though, because my dad has street credit. My dad always worked with the youth. I remember when I almost died from an emergency appendix surgery at like 12 years old. And when I got back to Miramar, he was one of the first people that came to our one room Shantytown home to check on me. He handed my mom a white envelope with lots of papers in it, and no one said anything for like 5 to 7 minutes. That envelope was like our visa interview paper. I never wanted to come to the United States without my mommy, but my parents did it the old way. They just had us, so he couldn't file for my mom and three children, Roselyn, Francisco, and Rosani. We made it here, and that's just part one. But thank you. But I wanted to share that because at Paul, I get to work with Black and Brown youth, and with everything that's happening in DC, I have my social media shut down. I was mistakenly arrested by the Secret Service when I was living up in Adams Morgan. And it made me run back to Southeast because I used to teach at C first. And then I went to Paul. I went to Friendship Tech. Then I went to Paul. At Paul, I remember the little girl that I was when I first moved to the United States. I went from the Bronx for 2 months. And my dad took us to Harrisonburg, Virginia, to the countryside. Super white, which is fine. I don't care. You know, you're going to shine anywhere. And my dad taught me that it doesn't matter if you have an accent, if you don't have your documents together, when you have good teachers, they will really like make an impact in your life. I don't have anything like super dramatic to say, but I just want to say like being in a room full of like people who share my pigment, it makes me very happy, and um I have nothing really to share about me. I just like to talk about my students because I don't understand their fight, but they keep coming to learn. You know, they live in the city where all of the decisions are really made in the entire world. I come from a town where with $20, you can live for 2 months. I know what scarcity is. I know what being hungry is. I know what not having. I didn't see my dad for 8 years, and then I didn't see my mom for 8 years because we didn't have our documents together. So when I look at my black and brown students in my Spanish classroom, 201 Paul, you can always visit, you know. So you can always visit. I just want my kids to see like black and brown folks are in the same fight. And not only are we in the same fight, but we are working with kids who live in the center of the world. Everybody want to talk about Dubai. Nobody in Dubai want to be in Dubai. They want to be here. And also, everybody wants black culture. So I just want to elevate the room. And I want to tell you guys, like, it is a privilege for me um, to be part of a black community. I know everybody has a joke that Dominicans say they're not black. If because see, we laugh. In my town, I am part of. We call ourselves Cocolos. Can you say Cocolos? Cocolos just happens to be my cousin's name, who died of gun violence when I was only 9 years old, and his body fell on me. So I'm from like the toughest part in the DR. My town was the center of the sugarcane plantation in the Dominican Republic. They won't talk to you about it a lot, but if you ever go to the DR, check out Punta Cana for sure, but go to Juan Dolio. Juan Dolio is where that was the old Punta Cana, but because it's so black, it's not supported enough. So if you ever go to the DR, check out Juan Dolio. We are very black. If you go to San Pedro and Samaná, we're very proud black people. Our own government shuts us down, but we don't care. We still shine. Sammy Sosa is now welcome back in our uh, because my dad used to shine shoes with him. So it's I'm proud to be a black woman because I grew up in a town where I was taught to be proud to be black. I I connect more with the community of east of the river than uptown because when I went through my situation with the Secret Service, the brown community members who were close in friendship with me left me in isolation because nobody talks about the black immigrant experience. There's a lot of black immigrants in DC, right? And they are undocumented. We also go to struggles. There's a lot of African immigrants who don't have their paper situation together. There's a lot of young black kids in the DC school system who, because they speak English better than the kids who are lighter, they don't get the same support as the brown students. Um, our struggle is not only an immigrant struggle, but it's also a colorism and a racism struggle. So if you have a black immigrant student, hug them tight and know that we are so in love with Black history because we don't celebrate Black history. So happy Black History Month and thank you for coming tonight. Yes.
Don't go too far. In case you don't know, this is my famille. We share the island of Hispaniola together.
Yes, we're sisters.
So there's just so much that I love about you and the work that you do and just how you serve community. And a lot of it is because of your authenticity. What brings you joy in the moment that we are witnessing today?
Um, oh my God. I work at Paul, founded by a black woman, and all mainly like 90% of the women in our leadership are black. And that makes me very happy because I have I'm a little hothead when I don't like when I'm like they need to do a Black History Month project or they need to do something black related in the project. My principal, she's also a little hothead, but she's from Baltimore, so I love her, and I love our CEO. I've never been in a school community where it was led just mainly by black women, and the way they uplift everybody equally. I know I'm on camera, HR. Uh, they uplift everybody equally and equitably. Equitably? Yes. And but for me, when I came to America at 14, I did not know Harrisonburg, Virginia is in Rockingham County. Everybody's white. Great school system, but I've never seen so many powerful black women in my life running a school building. We have 5th through 12th, and anything I ask is like, here you go. And I know it's because they're seeing me navigate. I used to want to be a diplomat, and I became a teacher by love. But my joy is seeing the women that I work for or work with, because we don't work for each other. They say we work with together. Um, and I love telling the students about that because sometimes there's a disconnect with leadership and the students. So I like telling the kids, they're not always going to be in the building, but look, if every school is shutting down, Paul gave us last year a bonus. 5,000, everybody. So they look for ways to make sure that their staff is well equipped. People talk shade. I know why. I understand why. There's a lot of shade thrown at them. But that brings me joy because it helps me see who I want to become in the future. But I want to stay in the classroom if I'm in leadership. That's why I'm not in leadership because I like to see the kids and I like to connect the kids to them because they actually listen. And when you're a black person, you know the struggle from the bottom. You know the struggle from the bottom. So their empathy and their sympathy is real because black people feel everything 3 times, you know? So that brings me joy and also being here. So thank you and God bless everybody in Allah. Okay.
Thank you, thank you. Um, I don't want to make that scream, but and there's more books under here. Um, so Rosalyn is going to again model that if you come up here to speak, you get a poster, last seen poster, you get a copy of Rethinking Schools, and you get to select your book of choice to bring with you to your family or classroom library. I just wanted to make one note. So, in case you do not know, Teaching for Change coordinates the DC area Educators for Social Justice. I'm going to put them on the spot because I don't know I'm about to shut them out. But Lamusa, our program administrator, is going to raise their hand. We, through the DC area Educators for Social Justice, one of the things that we do is we document your classroom teaching stories and praxis. So as Rosaline had shared, I have come to her classroom to highlight the great things that she's doing in her classroom and to showcase that for other educators to have a valuable lesson or content that you can all adapt in your classrooms as well. So I just want to note that as one of the coordinating organizations, we have jokingly but affirmatively shared that Empower Ed is y'all's advocacy and Teaching for Change in the DC area is y'all's curriculum. So if that makes like any sense on the connection, that is a space that we and why we come together the way that we do. So I had gotten a tap on the shoulder to ask if you didn't sign up like ahead of time and you want to grab the mic, is the mic open for you? And yes, the mic is hot and ready to go for anybody who is interested. So in a few minutes, we're going to open the floor for any voices that would like to come up. So I'm seeing some friends shouting some other friends out over here. I got some friends that I know that are like, this is your call to come up to the mic at some point. So I don't want to forget that. But while we are giving you space to come to the mic, I'm going to introduce our next speaker, Miss Nia Mays. So Nia is a lifelong learner, and I'm a lifelong learner too. How many of us are lifelong learners in here? See? Yes, all of us, lifelong learners. We couldn't be educators without being lifelong learners, right? So Nia is a lifelong learner and artist. She moved from New York to the DMV. Where in New York did you move from? Long Island. Where in Long Island did you move from? Okay, I'm Nassau County, but it's okay. Moved from New York to the DMV in 2018 and has stayed ever since. She joined DCPS in 2022 as a special education teacher and now teaches garden-based science for elementary students. You know what? I mean, we at Teaching for Change love our social studies teachers, but I am feeling the love for all y'all math teachers, you science teachers. We need more of y'all's stories in our classroom content. So we're gonna be finding y'all because yes. She is excited to share her story and is grateful to all who are supporting her. So Nia, come grab the mic.
Thank you. I'm Nia. I'm work like right up the road at Stan Elementary School. It's my second year there. It's been the best school I've been at so far. I've been at 3 in my 4 years. Just trying to find a nice school home. I think that's what every teacher wants to do. This story is from when I spent a summer teaching at the Juvenile Detention Center. That was a calling that spoke to me, and I just, was reading all my Angela Davis and saying, we aren't all free until we can all be free for real. And I always see education as a true pathway, no matter where you are. The little blurb at the bottom of my email is that they can never take your education from you, right? They could steal everything, but what we know is what we know. And then this is from a part where I just got there. It was like maybe 3 days in during the summer session, and I saw two black men, young men, graduate. One had a birthday like maybe 2 days after, and of course, once you turn 18, that's when they take you to the big house jail. And I could see, his struggle. I didn't know, of course, coming right in, like, okay, you got to figure the stuff out. You got to talk to people. I'm trying to, go through all the right steps and everything. But I'm like, okay, you're learning, and he seemed to be the top of the class. And I was like, okay, we can start writing essays, Let's take it to the next step. You say you're going to Georgetown University, let's go. And he was like, no. And I was like, but all the teachers love you. What's going on? And a couple days later, yeah, they sent him on the bus on his birthday. And I'm glad I got to see their graduation. They had two graduates that day. And this is something that just flowed out of me during that time. I saw two black boys graduate today. I saw two young black men graduate today. I saw two young, detained, and criminalized young black men graduate today. It was a lot because I wish they were free. I wish I could be so open to say and look them in their face and say, I wish you were physically free, and I see you. I see your beautiful mind, your dreams and desires through your tearful eyes. I see your desire. I see your hunger. I see your pain. I see you. Brother, I see you. I want to be here with you. Even if we can't break this physical cage, I want to be here with you to break the cage they are trying to build in your mind. Not because I have to, but because we have to. We have to uplift these young men. Boys delivered sentences heavier than the weight of this earth. These are our boys. Black boys with unwavering potential. Black boys with so much yet to discover. Today, when I said my teacher vowed to uplift you and be there when called upon, I meant it. Your desires are my desires for you. Through this hell and high water, I am here at your service. Irregardless of any requests against our charge for freedom, I am here to stand with you. I know I can't do this time for you, but I can help you make this time feel less lonely, less isolating, less reducing. I am a teacher within my soul, so if you can confide in me what you want to learn, I will bring lessons to assist you in your discovery. I promise you, my young brother, I want to see more of us. I want to see you achieve, despite the sentence of infortune bestowed upon you. I give you a pledge toward liberation. I bid my time to you. All right. Thank you.
I just had to let that breathe for a moment because, yeah, you got to just let that breathe for a moment. Read that last line.
I bid my time to you.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me share. I didn't have anywhere to share it.
And here it was, right? I'm so glad that I mean, the part of you being a lifelong learner and an artist and the storyteller and honoring those two young men in this space that is protected, cared for, and loved on. I hope that wherever they are, that they feel that. So thank you for sharing that gift with us. As a sort of New Yorker, so I grew up in Ohio, right? I was born and raised in Ohio, but my family, because I'm Haitian, you know how we, right. So my family's in Long Island, which is, anyway, New York to DMV. You have been here ever since. There's a purposeful intention of what that means. Why the DMV? What about home does it make for you?
I'll be honest. I started undergrad in DC. I started at American, and then now, wish me luck, but I should be graduating from Johns Hopkins in May. My last class. It was so hard. And especially as a black woman with a disability, I've used accommodations ever since I was in middle school up until right now. I had to really reframe what education looked like for me. So that's why I really started as a special education teacher. So I did find my joy. This has been the best school I've ever been at, and they really enlightened me. My master's is in special education, so I could just love on these babies. And yeah, I think somebody said it, but this is the most political spot. I wanted to be where it was, you know? If we're really making change, then do it right up the street, right?
And do it in Chocolate City. Let's
Yeah.
not forget that.
Exactly.
Well, I'm not going to hold it against you that you went to Johns Hopkins instead of staying at AU, but it's okay. Johns Hopkins, I mean, you are almost done, sis. Master's
Yes.
degree done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're right there. And then we get to say we watched you graduate.
Yeah,
Let's go.
please, yeah. Stream live, live stream.
So Nia, you get to model selecting your Rethinking Schools magazine, your last seen poster, and a book for yourself or for your classroom.
Oh, thank you.
And with that, I said the mic was hot. So I'm gonna call somebody up because I know they already said that they were ready to go. Hopefully they had it prepared. Ooh, Christina's about to jump in. Okay. And then Ms. Lucy, you're going to be next. All right. So the mic is hot, which means you get to follow in the footsteps of Nia, of Alphonse, of Miss Mary, of Rosaline. And we are going to continue this storytelling and affirming space because we are unapologetically Black. And we are using this moment to be in community with each other. So continue to give it up to Sam, to the Sapadios team, eat some good food, grab some more drinks on you. Make sure to tip your bartenders, and I'm going to pass the mic to Christina.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I realized this is my third night out this week. Right? Right, but that means that my 13-year-old has been watching her 3-year-old sister 3 nights in a row. But it started Tuesday at Grounded in the sound healing class. If you haven't been to Grounded, check it out. Yesterday, I was somewhat across the street, around the corner, advocating for Anacostia community and the upcoming CBA agreement with Therma, DC. And I was like, but I absolutely got to be here. I was really excited about tonight. And so I want to start off by shouting out Empower Ed, Caroline, Teaching for Change, Keisha, like y'all are amazing. And I am back in DC Public Schools this year after taking a break from being in the school. And I had the privilege to co-found CARE Anacostia, and I ended up being in community with these amazing people. And it was an eye-opening experience for me. Grassroots organizing, being out of a school building after 18 years, it's a whole different world out there between 8 and 3:30 if you've only been in schools for that many years. And I learned so much about how our community, we're in so many different spaces doing so many different things to ultimately uplift our community, to uplift our babies, to uplift our families. And I had to step away from Care Anacostia because fundraising is hard and my babies need health insurance and the bills need to be paid. And so I'm back at DCPS, not because I want to completely, but because I needed to in a way. And so I just want to elevate. I miss y'all. I miss y'all, and I appreciate all the things you continue to do for those of us who are in school settings day in and day out. Sometimes it feels like we are in a different kind of trench, and but there's so many things still happening around us in our city, and we absolutely need y'all to continue showing up for us and showing up in spaces, making sure that you are elevating the needs of our babies, our educators, their families. And so I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate y'all so much. I'm going to pivot real quick. Speaking of everyone's journey and everything happens for a reason. I have a 3 and a 13-year-old. I've been previously married. It was a really unhealthy marriage. I've been an educator. Yeah, this is like year 20. But I got a lot of, you do more for those kids than you do for our own family. You're always at that school. You're always doing something for them. You're always this, that for those kids. And I have learned at this ripe old age of 41 that, like, I know what my passion is. I know what my passion is. And it is these babies, and it is community. And I'm going to toot my horn and say, and I still cooked bomb-ass meals, like, regularly. And we still have bomb-ass children. And so I'm not sure what else you wanted me to do. But funny thing about that is I actually knew that after I had my 13-year-old, I really wanted another child. I wanted to have another child. But at the time, I had to look for a new classroom position in DC public schools. I started in a resource setting in North Carolina, loved it, but we were talking about if we have another child, I can't go to a self-contained classroom. Like, that's a no-go. That's not safe, all the things. So tabled it. But then being in an unhealthy marriage, it was actually, we don't need to bring another child into this world. And that's a whole different weight on top of the work that we do. But fast forward 10 years, happily divorced. But then I ended up with a beautiful surprise who came into this world on Constitution Avenue in front of the Hart Senate building while I was teaching in the BES classroom. And so I like to laugh and say God's got jokes because 10 years later, as a single mom, I ended up expecting. Also was the kind of person I would never try to give birth at the beginning of a school year. Like, I can't be out the classroom that long. It's just not possible. Like, that's how my passion and my logic and stuff is all set up. Her birthday's September 7th. So I was only in school for like 2 weeks before I had my curbside delivery while working in a BES classroom where what is considered supposed to be one of the most unsafest spaces. And so my story is that, like, it doesn't matter. You're going to land wherever you need to land and show up the way that you need to show up and be given everything that you need to show up as your best self for these babies that we serve every day. And to just keep going. Please keep going, because every single school that we are serving in is its own community in and of itself. You have your personal story. You have your professional story. we all have so many stories and they come together in so many beautiful ways. But we know to expect the unexpected. We know that we may have one plan, and whatever you may or may not believe in, there's another plan out there for you, and lean into that. Lean into it, love it, appreciate it, and just know that you are planting seeds in whatever it is that you're doing in the season that you're doing it, and it is going to show up and manifest and take root in so many different ways that you may not ever actually get to see, but you're doing it. And so keep doing it and keep being the amazing educators that you are. Keep being the amazing melanated human beings that you are, and just keep doing you. And as I like to tell my students, remember, you got this.
Um, it is such a pleasure to be in community with humans like Christina. I just like, especially in this season that we are witnessing here in the DMV, but in this world, this fascist, authoritarian timeline that I didn't ask for, and I know y'all didn't ask for either. And so being in community with humans like Christina, with humans like Caroline and Dominique has been like a joy for me. I just celebrated my 5-year anniversary here at Teaching for Change, and like, thank you. And the part I shared with my staff and board, just in reflections of what this year has meant, and this 5 years in particular, is just how important community really is. And so if you are a new seasoned teacher in this community, I hope that you will look at the faces around this room and make a friend. If you are a long-term seasoned teacher, I hope you will look at the faces around this room and make a friend. Because ultimately, it is all of us that is going to make the to normalize and not make this dystopian world normal for our young people and for ourselves, and finding opportunities like this, as Alphonse said, where we can find joy everywhere. So Christina, you are love, and I am just so grateful to have been put into your sphere, and thank you for gifting us your voice and your experience as well. I am excited to bring up Lucy. I got to meet Lucy, what was it, Lucy, like 3-4 weeks ago? It feels like a minute. But we held our Black Lives Matter at School DC area resource exchange, and I got the pleasure of meeting Lucy there. And so I'm excited that Lucy was like, wait, I didn't sign up, but I don't know if I have anything prepared, but I feel the urge to get to the mic, right? So Lucy's gonna model what I know some of you might be ready to come up to speak or say or anything like that. So I'm just gonna let Lucy model what Christina just modeled, and remind y'all that the mic is hot. There's still time for you to come up and share your story and be loved on in this space. So Lucy, take it away.
Do I need the mic?
Yes, please.
Gotcha. I'm definitely not prepared. So thank you. And just walking in here and just having an opportunity to see the folks from Teaching for Change, and I'm like, I've got to try this. I've got to do this. I'm not prepared. But I'm DMV, born and raised, but I spent the last 20 plus years in Arizona and other places throughout my life. And I'm a 20 plus year math educator. So, and not many people know this, but I'm also just an undercover. I'm a writer. I want to write. And so I don't really like sharing too much about myself, except, I just don't. I'm just not a sharer. But I like to share my feelings through my work, through my words. And my goal is to, as a math teacher, to write, to continue to write outside of what I do as a math educator. I am in DCPS. teach 11th grade Algebra 2 trigonometry. So I'm in the trenches like a lot of the folks here, so it's pretty cool to hear. And I am black, so yeah, it's black. Like my skin tone is as black as I am. I am still black, and that's always been on the precipice of my life, you know, in terms of where I've lived, in terms of even living here in D.C., never feeling black enough. As a queer woman, as a black woman, I have all the space to navigate and to negotiate within my life. But I do have some colleagues here from my school, so I just wanted to give a shout out to London, who has known me since I returned to the DMV, and to Hampton. So thank y'all for being here. I was not planning this. I wanted to do it, but I wasn't planning. And so I'm gonna find some words that I actually wrote and I actually shared with people. And I've been writing for quite some time, but I'm a math teacher, so math people aren't supposed to be writers, right? Right? Wrong. And so, so for January, I decided to stop drinking. Actually, I started in December, around my birthday, decided to stop drinking and decided to continue with Dry January. So this poem that I wrote is called Dry January 2026. Sobriety is like childhood, except there's coffee now. And nobody stops you from having 3 or more cups before noon. Hold up. There's a lot less sugar. Given my life's hard knocks, I remain standing, not only in my innocence, not only in my wrongdoings, not only in my humility, but always in my growth, which need not announce itself. I am what the wound allowed. Same poem that I shared with some friends on social media. The next poem is called Bloody January 2026. It's very short as well. Before the year could change its number, Keith Porter Jr. was taken. Then January opened and its promise was soon broken. Gerardo Lunes Campos, January 1st. Luis Gustavo Serreras, January 5th. Luis Beltran Cruz, January 6th. Renee Nicole Good, January 7th. Parity La, January 9th. Victor Manuel Diaz, January 14th. Heber Sanchez Dominguez, January 14th. Alex Preti, January 24th. We are not obstructionists. We are people. People doing people shit and being present. We are not illegal aliens. We are human beings, living, loving, and surviving. These were not incidents. They were people. And their killers, funded, shielded, excused. Quote, one of the messages is that there is a world that most Americans live in which the police are an image of trust and morality and upstandedness. And we would like to live in that world, too. Ta-Nehisi Coates, January 26th. I long for the relative, I can't read my writing. I long for the relative calm of my childhood, yet I continue to prepare for the mayhem of today and tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, was easier than I thought. Oh, and I get to choose stuff.
Yes, please. Watch Miss Lucy as she models again us picking one of our lovely books that we have here. Remember, these books can be used anywhere in your classroom or at home on your bookshelf. I would love to affirm that the mic is still hot. The mic is still hot. And excuse my French, but in the words of Miss Lucy, we are here doing people shit. So the mic is hot. So please make sure you come up and share your stories. Is there anyone, a one or a two? I will share a little bit about myself and my journey. I guess maybe this will encourage someone to come up. Um, I also come from a family of educators. I remember fourth and fifth grade, I went to school with my mom and my dad in the same building. I don't know how I survived, but I must have done some type of well because I have in turn turned around and done that to my daughter as well. She sits in her grandmother's classroom half a day as well, but there is no proximity like family. Um, One of the things that I would love to say that I think is an underlying theme here tonight is learning and resilience. And I think from those two words, I hear adaptation. And if it's one thing about black people and black culture is that no matter the moment, no matter the time, we continue to learn, we continue to be resilient, and we continue to adapt. With that being said, resilience is often the thief of joy because we have to be so strong. And one thing that we do at Empower Ed, and I'm trying to make sure that we continue to meet the moment, is to invest in educator wellness. And I think a lot of the things that we've talked about here are heavy. We talked about how we lack boundaries in being educators. They call us, they have our cash app, we take work home on the weekends. It influences and takes away from our own children sometimes, and I think that is a heavy burden and a brunt for us to wear. Not only that, I think that we work in a culture in a city where when violence and things happen, unlike across the bridge when a student gets killed or harmed and they shut down school over there, we continue as business as usual over here. And I would just encourage you to make sure that you take time to invest in yourself, to make sure that you know where your joy is, that you are leaning on your community, and to really spend time with yourselves and make sure that you are revved up for this work because it is hard work, but it is also heart's work. Um, I love teaching. I actually kind of miss the classroom a little bit, but sometimes there's a bigger calling on your life and you just have to be able to move and groove and be resilient. Um, I was teaching for 6 or 7 years before I came into DCPS, and when I came into DCPS, I came right in the Southeast. I am a DC native. I am from Northeast, so if you know anything about DC, when you're from uptown, they tell you don't go on the South Side. It's a little, it's a little wild over there. You stay uptown. And when I came back home from Virginia State, I found myself right in the trenches east of the river, and I would not change it for the world. But I will also say east of the river broke my heart a lot because it was where I experienced some of my first student deaths. And I lost a child every year that I taught in DCPS, and 2023 was probably the wildest year because I lost multiple children. But we take so much of that work with us home, and I encourage you all, please invest in yourself. Like tomorrow, I'm going to the spa. We had 3 events this week, so shout out to us, okay? And shout out to you all because you all had 5 events this week. I did. I said accountability. Thank you. I said I was going to go to the spa once I got it all done. 4. Well, we did have 4 events this week, so we are 4 for 4, and I'm going to grab me another drink because this is the closeout. But I encourage you to be accountable for yourselves and make sure that you are speaking well to yourselves, that you are encouraging yourselves, and be the light that you want to be, okay? There are a lot of good things going on in this city, despite what they may say, and there are a lot of good things going on in Empower Ed. So my shameless plug now is we have the Black Educator Mentor Cohort. Shout out to my Black Educator Mentors that are in the building tonight. I love y'all. I don't get to spend enough time with you all. But shout out to the Empower Ed Fellows that are in the building as well. The fellowship program is a year-long program where we work on teacher advocacy, teacher solutions, and teacher wellness. That's really my shameless plug right there. I've gotten that pitch down to a science now. I don't really know what else to tell y'all. But the program meets once a month from 5 to 7:30. We do anything from work on policy and legislation and go to advocate down city council for the budget and legislation and things. It is really a great community where iron sharpens iron. So I encourage you, if you have opportunities, to come out to some of our free events where we build community and do certain things like this, and work with our other partners. I encourage you to get involved. I think that you definitely get out of it what you put in it. There are a lot of opportunities. And it's really just a great opportunity. Y'all having fun tonight, right? Yeah. So see, we want to be able to do more things like this. So without further ado, do I have any takers? All right, the mic is hot. It's on you. Oh wait, Keisha, you got something for us?
No, no, no.
You got an intro.
No, I.
You gonna tell us?
We
who
can
you
do
are?
an
Yes,
intro,
let's
yeah.
intro
All right.
sis.
You want to
All
do the intro? Do the
Well,
intro.
come on, you
Come
come
here.
intro up here with us.
Come here, London. We got a little bit because Lucy
Okay.
shouted you out.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
I put my teacher name London, but my name is Christine.
Yes, enjoy, have fun.
I want to say shout out to all the black educators in here. Even though our schools in themselves have community, finding that community outside of the school in different other school communities is beautiful as well. Especially for me, I've been at my school for 5 years, so for me, I feel like I want to branch out because every school community is its own little village, it's its own little city itself. So being able to hear other people's stories, other people's plights, other people's journey is amazing to me because I always tell my coworkers I feel like I'm so boxed in because all I know is what I know. So I love seeing things like this because I love hearing from other people and seeing what they've been through as well. I found this event because I finally decided to read my emails. And I was like, okay, some of these, outside of the school emails I used to just pass by, but I saw this and I'm like, okay. And then I saw Sapodila's. I'm Guyanese, so, when I heard that it was at Sapodila's, I was like, I have to be here. I think one time they catered at the Guyanese embassy. And once I heard the name, I'm like, I gotta find my way here somehow. Me and my co-workers were at Coolidge, so we're uppity uptown. So it took over an hour for us to get here, but we were going to get here regardless, Shout out to everybody who's east of the river. I've been close. I haven't been over it, but I've been close as in terms of schools. So I appreciate hearing everybody's story. The one thing I want to be transparent about is I'm a high school math teacher. Shout out to all the math teachers. Paul, I know you're right across the street, so shout out to you as well. The biggest thing when I heard one person's story about seeing kids' faces light up when they got something. When you teach high schoolers, you're not going to see that light. The light is not the same. I mean, you find it in moments, and when you shout it out, it dims right back down. But it's one of those things where every day I have to remind myself of my why. Because, as a geometry teacher, most of these kids are coming in like, what do I need this for? Why is knowing why a triangle has 3 sides important? What is that gonna do how's that gonna make me money? I'm like, well, education and the ability to learn is what's going to get you there. I don't care if you don't remember any of this after this year, but if your ability to learn and grasp information improves, then I did my job. That's it. So I wish I felt as passionate as I did when I first started my career. But when you have to fight the good fight every single day and have to remind yourself that it's not you, you're doing your job, you're pushing through, sometimes it gets hard. So another reason I wanted to come here is I needed a reminder of why I wake up every day and do this. Because sometimes I do wake up and I'm like, you know what? They don't need me. They don't even want me there. But then I take off. Where were you at, Miss London? Why were you not here? Because I needed a break from y'all. I'm sorry. But, I will say, when it's all said and done, I know that they are listening. And if not, they're not all listening. I know somebody's ears are open. I know somebody's learning, and I know somebody's appreciating my presence every day. And that's how I continue on, even with them being bold enough to call me all different types of names that aren't mine. I still know deep, 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 deep down that when I'm gone, they're gonna miss me. And that's what makes me get up and come every day. That's all I have to say.
Wait. Yes. I didn't. What did you? I wrote it down. Hold on. I know somebody. I'm just gonna stop right there. I know somebody. So I just love that you were like, I saw the email, and the email reminded me that I needed to be here today, and that you came. And the reason I say that is because I'm sure from my Empower Ed fam, Lamusa and I, that we sent lots of emails, and sometimes we're like, we miss your faces. But then we know that somebody is gonna rate that email and show up today. So thank you for opening. Yes. So we are going to continue to fill your inbox. Don't feel guilty if you don't come to these events or these moments, but we are so glad that you are here and that you are choosing to be in this space today. And don't forget your poster and your Rethinking Schools magazine. There you go. We have another mic hot moment. I'm going to introduce Megan, and then we will close the mic. Sorry, y'all, but the fellowship doesn't have to end, but we got to close the mic with one of our dear friends that I'm going to introduce in a moment. So, Megan, come grab the mic, share your story, and a little bit about you.
Hello. First, thank you to everyone that has already shared their stories. My name's Megan Barnett. I'm from Alexandria, Virginia. I went to the good old Howard University. Shout out to any of my Bison people. I was a business major. Graduated from Howard, didn't even start a career, waited 2 years. I went to New York. I went to Columbia University's Teachers College and got my master's, and came back to DC in 2012. I worked at Tyler Elementary School, which is now, I believe, Chisholm Elementary School. And from there, I went to Van Ness Elementary School when it reopened and kind of helped build Van Ness Elementary School. I'm a special education teacher. And last year, in May, I completed my doctorate at American University. So here I am. And I came up here because I wanted to share with you all my research as a doctoral student. My research focused on teacher mental health and well-being, specifically women and teachers of color. And I just kind of want to share with you what I learned and what I know and what I did, and just remind you to take care of yourselves. First, my research was conducted here in DC, which we know is Chocolate City, which some of you may know or are learning now that the representation that we have in our schools is not what it is in the rest of our country. Our leadership staff is predominantly women and women of color, and our teaching staff is predominantly women and teachers of color. So to be in this space where I'm working with other teachers of color and other women that look like me is a blessing. I looked at the discrepancy between our actual wellness policy. If you don't know, we have a wellness policy. We are supposed to have access to certain things. I looked at that and actual teacher well-being and our wellness communication, and there's a discrepancy between the policy, our communication, and how teachers are actually feeling. And so I just want to let you guys know, I know you're overwhelmed. I know that we're frustrated about a bunch of different things. And I also want to let you know there are resources out there. So I had to implement an intervention, and my intervention was communication and using social media to communicate the wellness resources that our city offers us as not only DC governmental employees, but also what DC Public Schools offers us, and then other just organizations. So if you are looking to go on a wellness journey, a few things I would like to share with you are there is an organization, and now that everyone's looking at me, I feel like I don't remember what what I did my research on. But there is a wellness organization, I cannot think of it right now, that's based in California, but they have racial kind of affinity groups. And I did one with other Black educators across the city, and we joined together and learned different wellness strategies. I know we get a bunch of emails, but we also have access to on social media. There is a DC Public Schools like mental health and wellness hub where you can get access to different stuff. We're supposed to have access to food. We're supposed to have different access to opportunities out in the city. If you are interested in learning more, I can share my information with you and give you guys access to that information. But I really just wanted to come up here and just remind you all that, yes, we need to find our joy, and we have to take care of ourselves. So set those boundaries, turn that computer off, have a work computer, don't take it home, go to the gym, hang out with your friends, take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself, not just as an educator, but as Black people. And so I love you all. I wish you all the best. And hopefully I will see you guys again. Thank you.
Don't go too far, Dr. Megan. I'm going to call you Dr. Megan because you didn't tell us that you had that PhD before. But Dr. Megan, y'all, from the American University. Grab your book, grab your Rethinking Schools magazine, and your lovely Last Seen poster. I am so excited that this person came up and is going to be one of our last voices at the mic. I have gotten the pleasure of getting to work with this human now, probably, I think this is our fourth or fifth event. I don't know. Who's counting these days? But behind the scenes that helps to make some of this happen, and the storytelling and adding a little bit more vibrancy to the experience, is Hampton of Firebug Productions. And so on the camera, making sure that we are live, taking photos, Hampton in the rain, in the middle of June, had hit in the heat though too. Oh Lord. We did our Teach Truth Day of Action, and we marched the mall, and Hampton with his backpack, little rain poncho, made sure that we had recordings and video and pictures, and when I tell you coming in clutch, overheating devices, and still made it work. So I'm excited. A friend of Teaching for Change and Empower Ed, Hampton, take it away. We're excited to have you at the mic.
And you're all probably wondering, well, why is he getting up here talking about being a Black educator? I am an educator. I've been an educator since the late 1900s. Officially, 1998. Unofficially, way back when you could substitute and the only requirement was that you be 2 years out of high school. So I actually did some long-term substituting even prior to my official teaching career. But so I just want to share something with you really quickly. Like many others, I come from an educator family. My grandmother, who actually just passed, she was 100 years old. She retired as a DC principal from J.O. Wilson. And so then my mother is also an educator. She retired from Prince George's County Public Schools. My aunt retired from Prince George's County Public Schools. I taught PG, and my sister is currently an administrator in Anne Arundel County. I don't teach in a school building anymore. Now I consult outside of doing production. I consult. I'm working with teachers mostly. I also work with justice involved, incarcerated folks as well. But I just want to share one quick story. When I was a principal in Pittsburgh, I was being investigated by the Office of Civil Rights of the Pennsylvania Department of Education. And this was a situation that, I mean, I'm telling you, like, rocked my world, because a parent was trying to sue me for discriminating against her black son. And it really took a toll on me, because this particular child, I'd gone out of my way to try to help and support. I mean, I have an affinity for black boys because I was a black boy. And so I was very passionate about trying to mentor and help and support. And this same kid that I was trying to help and go the extra mile for, he ended up assaulting another child. And I had no choice but to bring him up for expulsion. Well, because the person that he assaulted was white, and I wasn't bringing up the other person for expulsion, she said I was discriminating against her black child. And I mean, when I tell you heartbroken, like, knocked the wind out of me, because it was one of those things where it made me question, like, do I want to keep doing this? Like, that's how hard I took it, because again, like, I was so passionate and put so much of myself, and I'm like, I can put so much of myself into somebody just for this to happen? I mean, it was crazy. Like, I had to, fortunately, my school system was very supportive. The incident was on video, so that very, very much helped. It was cut and dry. But in the meantime, this woman went to the NAACP, went to the newspaper, the black newspaper in Pittsburgh, and I couldn't comment on any of it because it was a legal matter. But they ran with everything she said, and which was disappointing too, is they took everything she said and just ran with it and publicized it, and it was like so heartbreaking. And I'm saying all that to say that if you haven't had a situation yet as an educator that has made you contemplate your career, you will. And if you do, even if you have another one, I just want to say to you, keep going, because as much as I wanted to give up, there were still so many other students that needed me. And as much as sometimes you want to give up and throw in the towel, there are so many students that you don't even know, that you don't even realize you're impacting. And I'm saying this as somebody who 20 years removed from some of my students that find me on social media and tell me about an impact that I had on them. I can barely remember their name or who they are. And so I'm saying this to you, like, when the time comes and the wind gets knocked out of you, one, keep doing stuff like this and letting things like this refill your lungs and bring life back to you. But also hold on to the hope that the seeds you planted are not in vain. Those stormy, rainy days that you have, okay, are still watering those seeds. And they're going to grow to fruition, and the impact that you have is immeasurable. I've gotten to know some of you through working with Teacher for Change and the Power Way. I wish I had teachers like y'all. The reason I became a teacher is because I didn't like school. And I was like, I want to make it so that kids actually like school, enjoy class. I didn't have teachers like y'all. I'm listening to y'all talk, and I wish I had teachers that were like y'all, that were passionate and caring and advocates that looked like me. I didn't have that. So thank you all for being that for this generation, okay? And again, when the wind gets knocked out of you, rely on each other to fill your lungs back up and keep going.
I said it before, but I can't say enough about when people just get added unto you. And Hampton, thank you for your ministry. Thank you. Thank you. Don't forget to grab your book. um, so all good things must come to an end. But before we close out, I hold a tradition. As I mentioned, this is our 4th year that we have done this. My former program manager of the DC area Educators for Social Justice, Vanessa, brought this gift into this space. And so what the gift is called the Golden Lines. Lines that each of you have shared that are going to create a collective poem as I've been writing these gems tonight. And so I'm going to close us out with your words, our words, this community space. And then the last voice that you will hear is from Caroline with some reminders of things to note. But before we do that, can we just one more time give it up to the Sapadias team? Tara, I see you back there. Sam, thank you. To the team, everyone clearing out the food. Y'all, that food. Like, I was super excited that we were gonna come to a spot like this, but then whoever the chef is, like, thank you. Like, Caribbean, like, this is my spot now, because it's hard to find, like, Port-au-Prince closed, it broke my heart. It's hard to find a Haitian spot, and, like, y'all got 4 different bottles of Babancoa on the shelf over there, and that just makes my Haitian heart happy, so thank you. All right, so let me get back to this. The golden lines. Find joy everywhere. Keep finding joy. Life, liberty, and literacy for all. Started from the bottom, a virtual genius. Keep going. Speaking for my strongest self, I remember the little girl I was. You're going to shine everywhere. We aren't all free until we can all be free. I see you. Your beautiful mind, your dreams, your desires. I am a teacher within my soul. I bid my time to you. I know what my passion is. Land wherever you need to land. Keep going. You are planting seeds. I remain standing. They, we, are people. Loving, living, surviving. There is no proximity like family, learning and resilience, hard work but heart work. Be the light, remind myself of my why. I know somebody. Take care of yourselves. Set those boundaries. You will. Keep going. Hold on to the hope. Thank you. Unapologetically Black. Thank you. That was all you, y'all. You did that. You did that. We did that. Caroline?
Okay, well, I can't follow that up, is the first thing. But I do want to say thank you all for being here today, and I have the unfortunate job of making sure that we handle some logistics. So, I didn't print enough of these out, I'm just going to be honest with you, so we're going to share. But on some of the tables, we have some printed out QR sheets, and we would love to hear from you all because we do this event for community, and we want to hear from all of you to make sure that when we come back to this next year, it's even better. Again, all of you make this event what it is, and we love, I have to say, I love our advocacy work. I really, really, really cherish our work with Black educators, and if you would like to be involved in any of that, please let us know. We are planning an upcoming family exhibit event at Class Action at the DC History Center. We have an event series all year long for Black educators. And of course, we do this in partnership with the amazing team at DC Area Educators for Social Justice and Teaching for Change. So if you would like to do more of these events, please let us know. Find one of the QR sheets. Please feel free to tap any of us for any questions. And again, thank you all for being here, and give a round of applause to all of you for showing up and making this what it is. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Don't forget to tip your waiter and close out your bills. Thank you, Sam. Oh.